don't know why my glasses are so wonky. It's fine. Okay, hello. Welcome to Eliza Gets Into It, where today it is July 25th, and we are going to talk a little bit about the full moon. It's not a full moon, it's a new moon. We're going to talk about the new moon in Cancer and do a little bit of tarot to see what medicine we might need to accompany us during this new moon. So before we get into it, let's just close our eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more. Inhale into the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Last time, breathe in through your nose. And exhale out your mouth. Continuing to keep your eyes closed, we are going to settle into this space together. Although you might be watching this video on YouTube, know that this work of energy healing and connection and conversation truly does go beyond space and time. And so wherever you are now, you are radiating your energy into my field. And I'm intercepting it now, inviting it in, and asking my guides, my angels, my ancestors to help me be a channel and provide you with relevant guidance and information and questions for you to reflect on, so that you might come into a deeper state of presence and understanding with yourself. My goal in this offering today is to connect, number one, to be of service and to provide value, but also to instigate action or reflection in your life so that you can transform if that's what your desire is, or simply to go deeper and integrate the work that you've already been doing. And so before we begin, I offer up a prayer of gratitude to my benevolent ancestors and spirit guides and angels. Any energies or entities that are not here for the highest good must go. This is a space of holy transformation. I offer a prayer of gratitude to the Lenape tribe, whose stolen land I am living on in New York. I offer a prayer of gratitude to my queer ancestors who came before so that I may live a life of self-determination. Finally, I offer a prayer of gratitude for you, to you, for viewing, interacting, being a part of this transmission, and a prayer of gratitude to myself for answering the call and showing up even when time is limited, energy is limited, and we all have to make decisions about how to spend our energy. And so, with that being said, when you are ready, you can open your eyes. And I'll explain a little bit as we go, but we're going to start with some astrology. I want to look at the chart for the new moon and talk through some of the celestial interactions, and then we'll get into tarot and use some symbols so that we can sort of like choose the medicine that feels the most resonant. And I only have like 20 minutes. So we're just gonna go and flow and trust that whatever it is that comes through is exactly what's supposed to happen. And when you're ready for more, and when I have more time, we will hopefully be able to collaborate and go deeper. But for now, let's look at the chart. Whoop. So I have the chart for the new moon pulled up here, and this is going to be occurring down here with the sun and the moon in the same sign of Cancer at 14 degrees of Cancer. The moon is going to join the sun today at 6:57 p.m. EST time. And the thing that I love about new moons is that it is an opportunity for us to reflect on the life that we really and truly and deeply want, and to come into our heart space and to envision and feel into what is it that I truly desire. And maybe when you ask yourself that question, some stuff starts to come up, and maybe you begin to judge yourself. Maybe you ask yourself, what is it that I truly desire? And the first thing that comes to your mind is like a new bag. And you are like, whoa, that's not spiritual, that's not like evolved. We need to desire like world peace. But I'm here to remind you that number one, maybe there's something underneath that desire for a new bag that, first of all, actually, what I want to say is there's nothing wrong with wanting to have beautiful things in your life, wanting to have things that are well made. And this is totally a tangent I didn't expect to go on. So if this is resonating for you, let me know. Because it's just like what's coming through right now. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have beautiful, well-made things that enrich your 3D experience, because we are souls, yes, but we are having this human journey that we are on. And so if it is satisfying and gratifying to you to buy some new shoes, like, go for it. And understand that your life will never be satisfying if it is only about you, and it is only in pursuit of material things. There has to be something greater that can support the true like inner workings of your soul. And so in this moment where the sun and the moon are together in the sign of Cancer, which is very much a sign of emotion and a sign of feeling, and it's a sign that often like represents motherhood and mother energy. And it is taking place next to Venus here at 22 degrees, and Venus is also a big like sign of the heart. And so to spend time cultivating and understanding for what the true desires of your heart are, and what it means to arrange your life in such a way where you feel at home wherever you are, because you are there and you are at home in yourself, and to identify like what is it that I need to adjust in my real life so that maybe my actual home feels really, really good and like an exciting place, or a comforting place that I want to be in. And you know, there are some interesting like other celestial relationships that I made notes to talk about, but I think I'm going to call out Saturn here. Saturn is a sign that often is representative of father energy. And so because this 14 degrees and this 19 degrees, that's the angle that the planet is in this sign. I guess I should say it's the degree that the planet is in that sign. Because these numbers are like within 5 degrees of each other, they have a relationship to each other. And so this relationship here, Cancer is a water sign, Pisces is a water sign. It's like supportive. It's a supportive relationship. Saturn, though, is the sign of the father, of structure and rigidity and rules and regulations. And so this new moon to me is also heavy in like, how are you parenting yourself? Are you giving yourself both the maternal nurturance that is so key to early and not even early childhood development, but just like human development, frankly? And are you mindful of the structures and routines and rules that are going to be supportive in helping you to actually achieve the dreams that you are marinating on and becoming clear here? And so with those energetic themes, right, of parenthood, of dreaming and living the life that is alive and resonant in your heart, I want to take a couple of minutes to come into the tarot and see if there is some additional medicine that can be gleaned. And so I pulled 3 little seashells because this is such a watery new moon. I have this sparkly rock from Spain. I have this swirly shell. Oh, I should say this is a beach rock, not just any rock. And I have this black and white little shell as well. And so I'm going to pull a card for each one of these symbols and take a minute now to think on which artifact, I guess I would say, is going to hold the medicine for you. So really just close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and think about, do I want sparkly beach rock? Do I want swirly Spanish shell? Or do I want black and white patterned shell? Sparkly beach rock, swirly Spanish shell, black and white patterned shell. If you are feeling into the sparkly beach rock, I'm going to turn to the cards now and ask, what is the medicine available in this new moon, or What is the information that this collective needs to hear about how to best access this new moon energy? And the card for you is the Eight of Cups. Do you like this? The Eight of Cups. I love this card because it's very Cancerian energy. Cups are a sign of the emotion, and so we're like right on theme here with this watery new moon. And you can see this person who is literally doing what we talked about, which is envisioning a life that they truly desire, which is this planet right up here. And so they are utilizing these cups as like a source of energy. And as I said, cups are a sign of emotion. And so to use that emotional resonance of that desire, of like that excitement or that love, or even maybe nerves or anxiety, to fuel taking action towards the thing that it is that you really actually want. And I love on this card, let me see if I can get these details. Yeah, great. So you can see all of the mushrooms that are sort of like waiting below this person's feet. And mushrooms for me are always a sign of regeneration and of using what has died off to feed what it is that is still alive. And so in this new moon, if there are things that are coming up in your life that are ready to be let go, and maybe you're feeling some resistance about that, just know that nothing is ever truly lost, that whatever it is that is ready to leave and not be in your life anymore, it just dissipates and takes a new form. And that new form is something that you can actually utilize. And so the letting go is absolutely key to being able to be the one who is capable of having the thing that you want to have. And so don't, if there are nerves, if there is some distrust or some disbelief, I would invite some somatic practices in. Definitely look to like box breathing maybe. You can Google that fairly easily and bring some of that nervous system regulation into, I would say, until we get to the full moon, which is about 15 days from now. Use the emotions to fuel you. If they become overwhelming, turn to those somatic nervous system regulating practices. And do not be afraid to release what is ready to be released. And the last thing I'll say is that the eight here is a infinity symbol, right? And so just know that, yeah, there's just like infinite support available to you. Nothing is lost. That's just like the thing that keeps coming up. So do not be afraid to let go. Okay. If you chose Spanish Spiral, let us turn to the cards and ask what medicine is needed here to best utilize this new moon energy. And your card is the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands. This card as well, I mean, this person is like a new version of themselves, right? Wands are a sign of fire, a sign of inspiration and motivation and action. And so I'm thinking a lot about the Saturn energy that was like coming through in terms of the structures, right? Because if we look at all of these wands, they are in a very specific shape, right? This like TP almost shape. And it is only under this structure that this person has the access and the capacity to feel safe enough to let go, let go, let go, let go of all of the versions of themselves that are just ready to die off, that are, it's not that they're no longer serving, because they're always inside and they always have served, but it's like there is this newer, essentially like system upgrade, if you like think about it like a computer, a new update that is available. And there's a lot of resonance with this Eight of Cups that is available in this card of the Nine of Wands, because it is some of the same principles of like, what is it that needs to die off and be made into fuel for the life that you want. And it's maybe not so much the emotional component that is holding you back. It is rather maybe a resistance to new structure and new routine and new behaviors that is holding you back. And maybe there are some limiting beliefs as well, where you might not believe that you are worthy or capable of being this new person, and so you are sabotaging yourself, and so you are refusing maybe to even engage with the things that inspire you, because you don't believe that you are capable of acting on your inspiration and having success from that. And so I invite you to it's almost like do one thing per day that not like feels scary or feels impossible, but like do one thing per day that is like outside of your habits and routines, but that will get you closer to your inspiration. And so maybe that looks like sitting down and creating some art, even though you think it might be bad, or even though you think it's not going to turn out the way that you want. Or maybe it's sending, a cold email to somebody that you really admire and asking if they would sit with you for a coffee chat to talk about, this business idea you have. Or maybe it's getting outside and moving your body and just like coming into and honoring the sort of like 3D vessel that you are in. Thinking about what it is, about or maybe it's looking to a person that you admire and adding one of their habits into your life. And so for me, that was adding in this morning a practice of Kundalini yoga, which I don't do very often, but it was just like someone that I admire has been talking about how impactful Kundalini has been for their life. And so I was like, you know what, let me just try. And maybe it was the Kundalini, maybe it was just like the way that this day was always going to go, but I am here now filming this video content that I have never done before, and this is me following my inspiration, and just trusting that it's gonna continuing to follow this path, continuing to follow my inspiration is the way that I'm going to be able to embody this like next system upgrade that's happening in my life. And I know that you can get there too. Okay, final little shell. If you chose this black and white beauty, let us shuffle the cards and ask what is the medicine for this population of folks. And your card is the Six of Cups. So again, we have this cups energy very present, this water energy very present, and the six is a number of community and of sharing and of like reflecting back to one another. And you can see this is with these like butterflies all around, that when we share our emotions, when we support one another through challenging emotional times, when we are able to almost just like step outside of our own what can be like overwhelming emotional experience and recognize that there's nothing new under the sun, and that we are all capable of connection and understanding one another, that there's real like metamorphosis that is available. And you know, I love that on this card it is two smaller humans. I don't know why this one won't focus, but it's two smaller humans. And it reminds me to connect with the inner child and to connect with the version of myself that was never guarded about how they were feeling. And it reminds me that there is so much freedom available when we live from that place. And sure, the world is, you know, very different now, maybe. It might not be safe to always be expressing as though you are expressing your inner child, but it is incredibly important to find people and spaces that you can embody and express this energy from. And especially for this new moon that is just like so heart-centered and emotion-centered, and we have Venus just right next to the sun and the moon saying, hey, let's get curious about the like things that are available when you let your inner child guide how and who it is that you want to be. And you know, it's not like they're in the water. right? They're on the land. They are sturdy, they are safe, they are secure. But they are surrounded by water and this like transformation energy. And with the boats in the background, it also reminds me of like transportation, right? That water is a vessel that can, you know, we can't, not that I know, humans cannot fly, but we can get places by boat pretty quickly. And so when we give ourselves over to honoring like our true emotional experience, things can kind of transform at a much more rapid pace than if we were to just hold our emotions in our body and like force ourselves to carry them on our back as we like slowly trudge through whatever it is that we're going through. And so just remember, like, this is truly for everybody, but just remember that actually feeling your emotions doesn't have to be a long, drawn out, like tedious process. That when you come into breath work, like I advise, you can and facilitate, you can come into a deep state of presence and have your emotions come up, and you can observe them, honor them, and then like quickly shift into joy and into happiness and into bliss. But it is the resistance of feeling those emotions and the resistance of honoring them and the resistance of sharing them that keeps them like really stuck and really heavy, and it just gets harder and harder to move when you are just so bogged down. And so if you chose this card, the Six of Cups, I invite you to engage in play and connect with your inner child, and or call up a trusted friend, and maybe rather than dumping your emotions on them, begin by asking them if there's any emotional experience or situation in their life that they would like a listening ear for. And by giving and being that safe space for them, I imagine you will find a lot of healing in that. Okay. I definitely went over time, but it's all good. I'm so happy if you watched and got something out of this video. Please let me know. I'm gonna continue hopefully posting and experimenting and going on my own little journey with the wands and the cups here. I will put a link to this deck. I love that this is my favorite deck, True Heart Intuitive Tarot deck, by Rachel True, and happy to connect with you any which way you want. Instagram, Substack, YouTube, all the places. So I love you. Happy new moon.